Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. I hope you enjoy. Story number 1. The Perils of Trying to End the World, or Xenu Has a Bad Decade. Written by Alex Sylvian. The world came to an end at 9:53 Eastern Standard Time, July 24th, 3191. This was considered very odd, because it was supposed to happen 7 minutes later. It all started on a cloudy night 10 years earlier. All clouds everywhere on the planet Earth disappeared. Then the stars rearranged themselves in the sky. They said, "Hey guys, I'm getting kinda tired, so I've decided to end the world, okay?" The lead scientists in the world came together to discuss it, and they agreed. There was a 99% chance of it being a coincidence. Very unusual, but nothing to get excited about. Once in a millennium occurrence. The next night, the stars realigned again, saying, "It's not a coincidence, you blithering idiots." The scientists convened again. They came forward with a prognosis. There was a 97% chance of it being a coincidence. Then a lot of them were fired. All the leading religions got together and broadcasted into the air. "Is that you, God?" The answer came back, Xenu. You know, the Scientologist guys. I revealed the truth to L. Ron Hubbard, but all he wanted to do was make money. The leading Scientologists immediately sued Xenu for presuming how totally legit religion is for money. L. Ron Hubbard's ghost, he said that we could keep the scam going forever. Whoops. And Mr. Mtumba Illaboy, the unluckiest man in the world, why not? L. Ron Hubbard's ghost was unavailable for comment. Point is, it turned out the people of Earth objected to the whole world-ending thing. Xenu shrugged and started it anyway. He soon discovered ending the world was a whole lot harder than he had thought. His first attempt was a meteor strike, but no sooner did he let the meteor fly than humanity was already mining it for rare resources. Turns out it was full of platinum. By the time it reached Earth, it was the size of a very small pebble. The small pebble bounced off the head of Mtumba Illaboy and made him very annoyed. His second attempt was a storm that lasts 1,000 years. But humanity had figured out weather-changing machinery back in 2135 and switched it to the light sunshine with occasional breezes and life-giving rain and a rare snow to spice things up that lasts 1,000 years. Sisselwobel Gratz Statzlatoy, for short. Xenu tore out his scales in frustration. Irritated, Xenu decided to extinguish the sun. This bothered the humans for a hot minute, and then they just switched their energy panels to absorb heat from the distant stars instead. They also turned on a lot of radiators. Now truly angered, Xenu opened the gates of hell and commanded the legions of demons to march forth and conquer Earth. Humanity quickly dispatched them with a few well-placed nukes, then made a deal with whoever survived. Soon the Earth was running with twice the energy it had when the sun existed. Helligy was the wave of the future. Frustrated, he decided to unleash the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. This did not go as planned. First, it turned out the pestilence had already been hiding on Earth in the guise of a 300-year-old Jenny McCarthy. When her legions of anti-vaxxers found out that she was literally the manifestation of disease, they, didn't change anything. Then they all died an easily curable death, and McCarthy was launched into space. Moore took one step on Earth, looked around, knocked Mtumba Illaboy to the ground, and said, "Well, geez, how the hell am I supposed to improve on this?" He then retired and became a professional wrestler. Famine actually managed to leave a swath of destruction until she came across an old Jewish grandmother who said, "Oi, oh, nothing but skin and bones. Here, eat a little something." Of course, it is impossible to refuse food from an old Jewish grandmother, so Famine had no choice but to eat, and in doing so, stopped being Famine and had to resign her commission. Death did a pretty good job, as he always had for thousands of years. Seems he'd gotten the wrong memo thousands of centuries earlier, and had started work immediately. He profusely apologized. "Good to at least be getting some recognition for my work. I'm kinda swamped." Finally, Xenu sent everything at them at once. Dragon, plague, blood, fire. For a masterstroke, he unleashed Cthulhu. Surely now those bloody humans would perish. Nope. Cthulhu seemed to be friendly, so they just dumped him in the Sea World and charged people $9 to see him. Cthulhu was pretty much okay with this, though he did have a bit of a bad habit of seizing patrons and launching them 100,000 miles into the air. The dragons, plague, and so on might have been a problem. But Earth's lawyers got on the case, and it was soon discovered that due to a clerical error, they were only allowed to bother Mtumbi Illaboy. He expressed his opinion as extremely bothered. At last, Xenu just stared down at Earth and screamed in impotent rage, "You think that you're so smart, humans? Well, tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I'm going to kill myself. Then everything will fade into non-existence. Let's see how you like that." Of course, the people of Earth had been preparing for this since day one, and activated the DRP, Dimensional Relocation Program. At the stroke of 9:50, the DRP field was activated, and Earth was relocated to another dimension, one with less planet-destroying god lizards. There were only 3 casualties: a bird that had flown too high and escaped the DRP field, a suicidal astronaut who wanted to see what the death of a non-existence felt like, kind of floaty, and Ntumba Alaboy, who by sheer coincidence got thrown by Cthulhu 100,000 miles into the air and hit Xenu plumb in the face. "Typical," Xenu said, and died. And that's why the world ended 7 minutes early. End of story. Story number 2, I Still Stand, written by Teller of Tall Tales. We still stood, after all those awful, bitterly cold battles. After every snowstorm and icy night, we still stood guard. Once a settlement, now a city, Frostguardia stands tall and glittering in the perpetual winter sun. I remember her infancy, a few enviro hubs and a singular shuttle port to the bustling metropolis that now stood. Yet we still stand guard despite the massive turrets atop the walls making it pointless. We still stand, even though we fell. The war was beautiful in a way. The battlefield alight with spatters of technicolor blood, dead men of many races posed like war heroes in their frozen resting spots. We made it through the first war with few losses. We were ill-prepared for the second wave. But still, we stood in the way of the invaders. They were our friends, our family, our homes. We were protecting. Many have taken the stairway in the centuries since, taking the Reaper's hand into that blessed, burning light. More and more have been going each day, sensing no need to protect our beautiful home anymore. In that sense, they were correct. There was no need. I watched the shining gateway to the afterlife close. One of my men, a young boy at his time of passing, named Carter, had left today. I don't blame him. Poor kid was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He deserved peace. Yet still I stood, alone with no one but the Reaper approaching me. I unslung my rifle and propped it up against my shoulder, holding the buttstock as I snapped a salute to the cloaked figure. "All is quiet on this front, sir," I stated as though he were my commanding officer. The hooded figure looked at me blankly with that expressionless skull of a face, before speaking. "Commander Slate, I feel I know your answer, but shall I open the gate so you may pass on?" I kept my salute. "No, sir, I'll stay here and stand guard." The Reaper nodded slowly. Then he was gone. I slung my rifle back over my shoulder. The wind nipped at my skin still as I stood watch over the frozen tundra. I remember the feeling of the enemy lasers that burned and charred my skin, the kinetic slugs that tore me apart. I remember the cold as it slowly took me away from my people. I heard a soft crunch of snow behind me and turned. He never forgot. My old friend padded up to me, raising his thickly furred head for a ghostly pet. He was well fed, his fur was thick and warm. I didn't know who's taken care of him for me in the ages since I died, but I wanted to thank them. Fur dragons live for thousands of years, and when they bonded with you for the rest of their life. He sat beside me, staring into the snow-swept landscape. If I left, he'd wondered where I'd gone the rest of his life, and I couldn't do that to him. So I still stand, until the day me and my longest friend may face eternity together. End of story. I would quickly like to thank the T5 channel members and Patreons. Casper Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Barky, Lord Azrakal, It's Difficult to Pronounce, Dragzoon WRE, Holly's Sister, Arcadian. Thank you very much.